I've never had psilocybin chocolate that potent before. I had one square and I was just like wired the entire night. The whole night was just like a, and I remember just like falling asleep in our practice space with Robbie and our band, like, cause we were, we went back to our practice space afterward, just like, I don't know. It was fucking wild. So yeah, absolute hands down best show.
That's sick.
And
Welcome to the 194th episode of the Cast That Ends Creation. I'm your host, Chris Deering. This is the show interview bands and public figures from the Mathcore adjacent community. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, do all the things social. Every little bit helps. And feel free to join us every Sunday and Wednesday for the live cast. You can interact with the guests in real time or just hang out in the chat. You can also subscribe to this Twitch channel for just $5 to get access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and other streaming platforms. Oh, and get some exclusive emotes. You can also do that for free by attaching your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account. It's like taking $5 from Jeff Bezos' pocket and putting it into mine. With that out of the way, let me introduce my guest today who dropped their new album, Dusk, back in February through 12 Gauge Records. Welcome in, Ashley of Thin. How's it going?
hey, what's up? I'm good. How's it
Awesome.
going, brother?
I'm doing great, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me again, man. Hell yeah.
So it's been a while. What, 3 years since you were on? Maybe like two, maybe more like two-ish. 2 to 3, something like that. Anyway, point is, you haven't been on since you dropped Dawn back in 2020, although it's probably later in the year whenever you came on.
hmm
What have y'all been up to since then? I see you got a kick-ass split happening. You've been on a couple of tours. So yeah, why don't you maybe start off with a split? How did you get on the split?
Yeah. Well, since Dawn, we actually did two splits. We did a four-way split in 2021 with a couple UK bands. One of them is Wallowing, and the other one is Slab Dragger, sick, kind of on the sludgier side. And then the third band is a New York City band called Vixen Maw, who, kind of flying more under the radar. It's like kind of like a side project of sorts of other people. But Vixen Maw hit us up, you know, uh, I think it was early 21 and just said, hey, you want to do this split? It was just very kind of random. And yeah, and so that's how that one happened. And it's really cool because it's not, I don't think one genre wise something that would be typical for at least on our radar. So it's kind of like a kind of a mix of genres and geographical areas. So that one was really rad, and Sludge Lord Records helped us out with that. So it was cool to make those friends and connections. And then the split that we were actually planning for was came out the 22, I guess, and that was with the Wind in the Trees, who are homies from
That's
Baltimore.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
they
didn't see it
are.
on your Bandcamp, and I completely forgot about that.
Yeah. That's, I guess, what we that one's only through the Death Wish store, which 12
Okay.
gauge, yeah, uses the Death Wish
That makes sense.
distribution.
I totally thought that you did do something with them, but I couldn't find it, and so I thought maybe I was
Yeah,
going crazy and I was mixing up your tour with them. Okay, cool, cool, cool.
yeah. They're homies. Yeah, I mean, I've been a fan of uh, Dave's projects. Basically, I was a big fan of the Heads of Zeros, which I'm not sure if you were familiar, but that's kind
Dude,
of
they
the
were sick. They were sick.
yeah.
I
So
got into them like right before they broke up, though. I think they broke up like as soon as they dropped that. It was an EP or an album. I don't remember what it was now.
I think it was a full length. Yeah, it
It
was a
was a
full
full
length,
length.
and
Okay,
then
yeah, yeah. Like right after they dropped that, they like broke up, and that's when I found out
Mhm.
about it. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right. I know. So good. And Dave is kind of the. I felt like at least sonically the creative kind of force behind that, and so his band after that was the Wind in the Trees, and kind of picking up where the Heads of Zeros left off in a lot of ways, but also doing something different. And yeah, I still loved it, and we played a show with them in right before the pandemic when everything went to shit. It was actually with Under the Pier and the Wind in the Trees in New York City, and yeah, and it was just like, oh, so once I saw them live, it's like, yeah, this is awesome. And so I was really pushing for to do a split with them, and so I was happy that it all kind of came together. And yeah, so that's yeah, so two splits, and then yeah, and then we did our full length.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Uh, so how would you say your music's evolved since Dawn?
oh, that's a good question. Damn. Well, I think
Okay.
yeah, no, that's because yeah, I was thinking of different there's I think there's different ways, but I think generally maybe it's a little less technical maybe and more I don't know, I think it's a little scaled back if that I mean at least to us it sounds a little scaled back. We I don't know. We tried to I don't know what the word is. We some of it's more jammy, some of it's just kind of more like less is more. I think we kind of strayed away from some of the like I don't know math core stuff, if even that was like so prevalent in Dawn. I think we always kind of have a heavy grind aspect, so that always kind of is at the forefront, like blasts and stuff. But below that, I think we kind of with Dust trying to, you know, do a little more simplicity, but while also experimenting a little bit more. But that being said, you know, there's still odd timing signatures all over the place and whatnot. I think a big difference also is where we recorded. Don was with our homie Scott Moriarty at Backroom Studios in New Jersey. That's the studios that's owned by Kevin Andresian, formerly of the Dillinger Escape Plan, now of the Sawtooth Grin, etc. Awesome place. Scott is incredible. He's a homie. But we just wanted to try something new, something different. And the Dusk album we did with Colin Marston, who's
That's
just
fucking
legend.
crazy.
Yeah, he's a legend. It's so awesome working with him. Just such a nice guy and just knew, you know, you don't really have to he just knows. He knows what to do. Like we didn't really have to like explain too much what we were looking for. He's just so dialed in, and that yeah, that's just a different process. It's just the sound is so different. It's a lot roomier, a lot more kind of organic sounding, a little less polished, and I think it kind of amplified some of like the yeah more experimental, roomier, so to speak, aspects we were kind of going after a little bit. Yeah, so I think kind of those are the kind of big it's almost like yeah we kind of almost like spanned it a little bit I feel like if visual if that makes
Okay.
sense even though the songs are still short or whatever yeah
Okay. Okay. No, I very much actually agree with you with what you were saying. It is hard, I guess, to quantify exactly what the difference is. Do you consider yourself grindcore then still?
uh I mean I purists would not consider this grindcore
Right.
but yeah I think there's definitely still a grind aspect because of just the amount of like just yeah just this I think the speed is still there and there's just a lot of blast beats I mean I think at a certain point if you have so many blast beats it's like what you know what else are you going to call it you know it's going to be some grind adjacent thing so we're still blast beat heavy I think with this one and also I love grind that's just you know I love Napalm Death I love Pig Destroyer and I love a lot of other ones but those are like my two favorites and those never leave my rotation and it always kind of is something that's you know unconsciously you know influencing me I would imagine
It's interesting you mentioned Pig Destroyer, but put a pin in that because we're gonna come back to that one.
sweet
I just want to tell you like what I got out of your sound.
mm-hmm.
I think that like it's always been there like throughout like Dawn and stuff, but I feel like you have like this noise rock esque maybe
Mm-hmm.
in your on your Bandcamp I think you called it like screamo like influence or something. So
Yeah
that makes sense. So yeah, like screamo or like noise rock, kind of like atmospheric type of thing, I guess.
mm-hmm.
That was present in Dawn, but now I feel like you're trying to like that forward a little bit more. Um, maybe like you even do weird shit like spoken word stuff on Rear View, which I think was fucking badass, and I think that you should be doing more of that, like trying to expand in that area. That's fucking sick. Like almost like grindcore chat pile kind of thing, I guess. Is sort of like
Hell
where you're
yeah
heading, and I like the idea of that. But yeah, I feel like you're pushing boundaries while still being able to like call yourself like grindcore and stuff. Still staying to your roots, but being able to venture out, being able to tie all that together into one package that makes sense rather than it being like random. Like oh, we have a random jazz section here that some bands do. You know what I mean? And I'm guilty
Mhm.
of that stuff. But
Hey, there's a place for everything.
yeah. But no,
Yeah,
I love
no.
the direction that you're heading. I can't wait to see what you do with the next time. I guess that would be Daytime is gonna be the next album name.
Oh man, we could
Noon,
really, I don't know.
lunch.
Let's see, Dawn Dust. Shoot,
It'd be brunch,
we could do, I don't know. What is it considered when it's like 2 a.m.? Anyway, I don't know. But
midnight.
yeah, there's a
Okay,
lot.
okay. I like that one's actually kind of cool. I like that one. But yeah, honestly, I think that you did a really good job with this one.
Thank you, man.
And yeah,
I think
so
you definitely identified another. Yeah, I definitely put the pedal to the metal with like the screamo kind of stuff. Like that's another genre that really speaks to me. I think because of just the emotion and it kind of, I don't know. It can, I don't know. I think it adds like a rawness to it or whatever, and maybe an honesty or something to the sound and the approach. And I really love that mixed in with the other things. So yeah, definitely screamo and whatnot.
maybe we could call it emotional grindcore.
There you go, emo grind.
Yeah, there you go. Um, but anyway, why I mentioned Pig Destroyer is because
Mhm.
your lyrics. I don't know if it's just because I'm nostalgic for like the album Terrifier, but
Yeah.
your lyrics really reminded me of how Terrifier is. Uh,
Hmm.
I can't really say why. I guess it's like
Hmm.
because it's elements that all tie together and kind of not really tell a story, but yeah, I don't know. It's like manic, I guess. I don't know how to describe it,
Hmm.
but I wanted to go through the strip because I love like the lyrics that you have in here. Grocery store parking lots of my youth scattered with receipts, peanut butter, bread, spaghetti, stick shift leather, rust, repeat trips, peer into the strip mall, bar next door, the green parrot neon, and inebriated natural light, eroding yellows of speed bumps, minimum wages, picking up my stepfather bagging groceries. And they're so freaking good because it's good at displaying like your rotting like nostalgia and like the bleakness and disparity in like the suburbia and shit. And it's just so fucking good at being like it's like depressive, but it's like also like reminds you of like you growing up. Like I really relate to like these kinds.
Hmm.
And they're straight to the point too. It's no like weird metaphors, although you do have some like metaphors and stuff, but it's more like you know straightforward and honest like lyrics, I guess is a good way to say it.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
I
man.
love the lyrics. I think that they're a really big part of why I like this album.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I think lyrics can be difficult in heavy music because of just the fact that a lot of it can just be glossed over, not intelligible or whatever, and so people can just kind of ignore it. But yeah, man, thank you. Yeah, totally. It's a yeah. The picture story thing. I didn't think about it when I didn't think about that until I was on the Mathcast thing with Christian a few days ago too, and he mentioned a similar like Jr. doing the prose
Oh,
poetry
did
and
he?
stuff,
Okay.
and
I
he did.
purposely didn't watch it because I don't want to like, get
Oh, you're hitting some of
contaminated, I
it's.
guess, with like different like podcasts and like I don't want to like ask similar questions and stuff or not ask this because he doesn't
No,
like
totally,
this.
man. You
That's funny. We arrived at the same
you've
thing.
you've
Okay.
already hit a couple of the same. You hit the chat pile thing. It's great. It
Oh,
means you
really?
guys are you
That's
guys are
crazy.
listening. Yeah, you guys are just it means you're listening.
That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, I think again, like I was saying, unconsciously, Pig Destroyer is just one of my biggest influences. So it probably is always something that like you know, and yeah, I think Jr.'s lyrics are just I mean, it's awesome. Just like arresting sometimes. Just like, whoa, this stuff is wild. And again, the way it's presented over just this super like aggressive, like hostile music, but it can be so artful at the same time. So, thank you for that comparison because it's one of my heroes
Oh
for
yeah,
sure.
that's sick. That's crazy that we had the same
Yeah, you
talking
should
points
listen to
about
it
it. What the
after.
fuck? That's wild. Okay. uh, so did have some questions about the lyrics though.
Mhm.
Are these like real things that went through your life, or are you making like stories, or what's going on with that?
Um, yeah, everything's pretty much my life when I was, it's kind of like a give and take between childhood memories and present day. Like it's this back and forth kind of thing. Because yeah, I don't know. I dealt with a lot of trauma or whatever. And so it's something that's still, um, excuse me, something that still, informs my life. Let's just say, and I'm still struggling, but also working through stuff. I think fairly successfully. I'm trying at least. I'm trying to work through stuff, and I
You
think a lot
seem
of
like
this
a
stuff
well put together guy.
you
I don't
could
know, man.
you
Like
could.
you're doing good. You're doing good.
Hey, man, if I can fool you, no, but yeah, I think uh, I lost my train of thought.
Oh, you're good. You're good. So, what I was gonna end up with was in rear view. I think is what
Oh
it
yeah,
was.
yeah,
You say disassociating on the BQE. That's
yeah,
a highway, I'm assuming, or
yeah. The Brooklyn Queens Expressway.
okay,
Yeah,
okay, that's
yeah.
fucking great. And then you're trying to get to your mom. That's awesome. Um, then you had another one. I don't remember the name of the song, but you were mentioning the first time you got high. You were
Uh-huh.
saying like you were getting high at 3 or 4, like the age 3 or 4, or like what do we? I forgot what the lyrics were exactly for it. I should have gotten them. I should have copied and pasted exactly.
Yeah. So that's kind of more like I don't know if that exactly happened to me. I'm pretty sure it did. It's not something I can verify because I can't, but
Okay,
it's,
okay.
my relationship with my mom is not such that I can really be like, so did this really happen? But yeah, I'm pretty sure when I was a little kid, I remember, I mean, my mom definitely had some people over and they were smoking inside. I'm pretty sure it wasn't a cigarette. And I'm sitting there and I'm writing. I'm like, okay, I think this is what was going on. Because a lot of these things I haven't really revisited in like any, I don't know, meaningful way. And so this is the first time
Right.
I'm thinking about a lot of these memories. I'm like, oh, wow, were they like smoking weed and did they like give me some? I remember being all like weird and hazy. Maybe it was just that the
Contact
contact
high
high
or
or something.
something.
Who knows? But I remember being a small child out of my mind, like with all these people in there, and it was nighttime, and it's Florida, and there's like palm trees, and it's just it was like a very weird kind of dreamlike, slightly unsettling scenario, for a small child. So
Interesting.
yeah,
So you're like using this essentially as like therapy almost then. Like
somewhat,
writing
yeah,
this
yeah,
music almost. Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, I just think I'm just trying. I think for me, this is something I was talking about with Christian too. I don't know. For me, like personal is really the only like real thing I think I can write about or whatever. And really like like feel like I don't know and be honest about it. I don't know. So that's kind of the well that I'm pulling from. So it's all like that kind of personal stuff. Yeah.
No, I like it, and you can even like uh do you can even just say that they're just like stories or whatever too. Like if it's something that
Hmm.
you don't even like want to talk about or whatever, because I don't know, it has like a story like element to it too. Like
Hmm.
you're looking at somebody's life. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's weird, and
Yeah.
it's probably weird hearing me say that to you, but yeah, like I'm reading your life or whatever. But
Hmm.
like yeah, it's I feel like the way that you wrote this is fantastic, fantastic.
Thank you. Again, that's a really great point because just watch the math casting. No, but no, another thing that I really that inspires me is like the storytelling inherent in like folk and blues and stuff like that, and the kind of music that I try to intersperse in the various releases with the acoustic guitar or whatever. So yeah, a lot of those musicians are storytellers essentially, and so that is another thing that inspires me. So yeah, storytelling.
Last thing I wanted to see if it was real or not. So in the strip at the
Yeah,
bottom it says your stepfather bagging groceries. So was your stepfather bagging groceries? He was a bagger.
yeah, yeah. When I was, my
You
God, I must have
don't
been
have
like,
to expand on this if you don't want to at all either.
no,
I
it's
want to
fine.
throw that out there. Okay.
Please, please. that's the least of my 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 mom didn't work, and because she hadn't still has mental health issues, so she's not really not so functional, and so my stepfather also barely functional, but enough to have the wherewithal to, oh, we have to, pay the bills or whatever. And so, yeah, there was a grocery store. I don't know if you have them I don't know if they still exist, honestly, but Albertsons.
Oh yeah, we have
No, yeah.
Albertsons. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
I think
In
they
Florida,
just
we have.
bought Tom Thumb too or some shit. But yeah.
Okay, so there was an like there's an Albertsons that was just like the next street over or something, walking within walking distance, and that's where he worked, and I would go there quite often. And yeah, that shopping center strip mall is just like burned into my brain with just the different establishments that were there. The Green Parrot, which was like this real rough looking bar that God knows what. I mean, I can imagine what it's like now being an adult, but I never went into it. It was just like a very, yeah, it was just like in a strip mall, and it had mirrored glass, so you couldn't see inside of it. It was pretty like, gnarly. And that the strip is all about kind of that area, and like, yeah. And I guess the part about oh yeah, because of the grocery store, exactly. Albertsons grocery store parking lot, exactly. So yeah, so it's yeah. So he started bagging groceries, and then he worked his way up to like a cashier, and then the manager of the liquor store. And yeah, man.
Okay.
Hey, he was he was pretty stoked on it. So as much
Okay.
as one can be about that.
Um. And then you yeah, so this was recorded with Colin Marston. And
Mhm.
you had a great experience with him. You were saying, or would y'all like actually go to his studio, or did y'all record and then send stuff over to him, or how did that work out?
We so he's based out of Queens, and so it's local. So we
Oh,
went
nice.
there yeah, over 4 set days. And yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's just like top notch. He's, his reputation precedes himself. It's a really cool, it's his apartment, but it's like a recording studio. It was built up before he moved in. Somebody, I think, built it up in like the 1970s as like a recording studio. And apparently
Really?
yeah, that song, Informer. I don't know the hell the fucking words are, but that song was recorded there. I don't know. It's just a weird place. So he moved in like, I think, the early 2000s, and it was already like, structurally built to have like the live room, the this and that. And it's just a wild, like, awesome apartment slash recording studio that he's built for himself. And, obviously it's added his own like flavor to it, a la Colin Marston. You just have to kind of be there to know, but very metal. His control room is just wall to ceiling, like LPs that he's, been a part of. And he's just a really cool guy. He smokes weed, which, I am a fan of. And he has a suffocation grinder, which is cool. We were just like using that. Because he also like knows these people, so he's also in Gorguts. So I was just like flipping through like the Gorguts tablature. I was like, this is fucking crazy, man. And he's just like a nice, down to earth person too. It like I knew who I was like working with, like the stature of this person, but he never made that like apparent or anything, and I felt totally comfortable like being my piece of shit self or whatever. But like, and I felt comfortable tracking and stuff. It was not, I don't know. I could not recommend working with him more, not the cheapest, and it's New York, but it would be totally worth it.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Shout out to Hunter in the chat. Hunter from Carousel in the chat. Trashly and
bro,
Chris and Trash.
bro, get him out of there, bro. Get him out of the chat. Ban him.
So how is the apartment able to function? I don't understand because it's an apartment, right? So like, there's got to be all kinds of noise complaints and shit, right?
Wait, apartment where?
Yeah, you said that the recording studio is an apartment.
Oh, so yeah. I think because of the way it was built out. Like it's
Huh.
just like really big, like the physical apartment, and we make the noise. It's I don't know. Like honestly, I don't know shit about soundproofing or anything like that.
Because I can just imagine a drum kit in a fucking apartment complex. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's it's some New York City's wild. There are places where you can get away with that stuff. I mean, it
Yeah.
is in Woodside, Queens, so it's a bit farther removed from I don't know. It's not in like a it's not in like a super gentrified area where people are going to be like, "Oh, blah 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 blah."
Right.
It's like, it's in Queens. It's nice. I like the area, but I don't know. Honestly, I think he's been there for so long, so he probably has some goodwill with like the neighbors mixed with like he knows what he's doing. Like he's Colin Marston, so yeah.
Right.
Be a good question for him though. Technically, I have no fucking idea
That's crazy.
how it works.
That's insane. I never heard
Yeah.
of a recording studio in an apartment. I've even had people say that they can't like record in their apartment because they're afraid of like people like just doing vocals or whatever because they're afraid of like
Yeah.
people like doing complaints and stuff. That's funny. Um, so we have the artwork up on screen. You did this artwork.
Yeah, yeah.
That's sick. I didn't know that you did artwork and shit. Yeah, tell us about it.
Uh, it's yeah, in the same way, just like Dawn, I modeled it off of that kind of format. It's just like Dawn. It's kind of like a photo collage. Like I thought of the physical terrain that was in my mind and pulled images of basically this is a bunch of images of like mangroves and like the body of water that would kind of be around that, but from different photos that would never I merge places that don't exist together. And so it's like this non-existent kind of surreal, almost like memory from like childhood, like a place that I've never really been, but it's like, oh, it kind of feels like I've been there, even though, the photo's kind of wacky and it doesn't look like any place, but yeah. Now that I'm looking at it, yeah. So basically it's a photo collage and I just kept fucking with the colors. I would send it back and forth to Andrew and Fernando a million times, just trying to like figure out, oh, you know what? I'm remembering now. It's a composite of different mangrove areas, which in Florida, I don't know if mangroves are basically just like trees that grow like they abut water, and so they kind of protect the area from like hurricanes and stuff. They're pretty cool. It's pretty wild stuff.
Hmm.
And so that's something that I remembered a lot. And yeah, and so and the other part of the photo is actually, now that I'm remembering, I went to Greece in like 2015 for my friend's like wedding, which that
Damn.
was the most wild. I mean, yeah, it was like, are we really doing this? And like it was the most surreal place I've ever been. It was crazy. And so I took a photo of like, I don't know, one of the beaches we were at. And so actually, I think underneath this photo is like just like kind of like the horizon, and the water is based on that. I just like stripped it of all its like actual elements and stuff. So I threw that on top of it. Yeah, so it's just a bunch of photos basically colored and all sorts of just manipulated beyond recognition to make something completely different. Yeah.
Not sick. I like it. And I guess you're continuing the like frame too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I really dig how certain bands do like a frame within a frame, like a car bomb. I like how their last album art was, as at least as far as like geometrically. Chat pile, love how they lay that stuff out. So I don't know. I don't know if I was really influenced by the chat pile necessarily, but I do like the frame within a frame kind of look. I don't know.
Hmm. It's just keeps it kind of clean looking, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's yeah. I don't know what it is, honestly. But yeah.
Um, Escargo Wells Fargo says, Ash, are you a honk shoe guy or a honk baby guy?
You know,
I don't even know
I
what the last one
would
is, but all right.
I would I would really like to imagine that I'm the me, but
I was gonna
I'm
say, shouldn't it
probably
be a me instead of me?
yeah. Well, it's Hunter. Don't just let's give him a break. Um, I'm probably the if I'm going to be honest with myself,
Okay.
but I would, anyway,
These are the important questions.
Hunter is definitely the me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I've slept with him. No, speaking of that, Hunter was did merch for Thin, and the Wind in the Trees to an extent, during our last run, last month, and he was amazing. But motherfucker, like, has some sort of just nightmares or something. He he talks a lot during in his sleep, and
Okay.
it's a lot of like moaning and like a lot of like, bro, like, is everything good? And yeah, but it's funny because Hunter's disposition awake is like the sweetest, like, nicest, like, gregarious person. So it's fucking. He's asleep. He's like, ah, what? It's just funny, when you spend that many days and nights with somebody, you get to know them a little bit
Right,
more
right.
intimately.
So you also did a music video for this. And
Yeah,
I guess I missed it when it was first came out because I didn't even know. But we got the music video for Rear View happening now. You
cool.
want to tell us about it?
Sure. Yeah. Rear View is the last like real track on the record. Yeah, it's kind of bringing back Chat Pile. We recorded this record January 2022, and I man, as soon as I heard Chat Pile's EP, "Move Your Skin," I think the one with the Dallas Beltway song, I was like hooked. I guess probably 2020, 2019, whatever that was, and so loved that. And so when we were in the studio recording this, that was very much in my head, especially the Dallas Beltway song. And so I kind of stole some of the format, and the song's about like driving on the Beltway. I was like, oh, I'm driving on the BQE. That's kind of the only, but that's the parallel there. Um, and so yeah, the song, I really was again like influenced by that kind of noise rock, brooding, talkative, talky, kind of unhinged kind of approach, a la Trap Pile, who does it much better. um, Another interesting story is that we played Oklahoma City on this past tour, and we got there kind of not too much time before the show, and the Thin Boys and Hunter were kind of eating lunch or whatever, and we like looked out the window and it was like, wow, this kind of looks like the area that they just took the photo for their recent album,
God's Country.
which God's Country, yeah, I almost said God City, and then we're like, oh shit, that's the power station or whatever. We were like a block away, and so we're like, oh shit, and so quickly, like, again, serendipity, we like ran down the street, and Hunter like took a photo of us like in front of the thing. And it's funny because we're so small in the photo, people thought basically Hunter like took that photo and then recreated the Chat Pile album, but then put like the Thin logo on top. And a lot of people thought we were just like ripping off their
I thought
like
that you
art
were,
because
like, or not ripping it off, but like making a meme or something out of it.
yeah. It's like, no, we're there. Yeah, we should have done like a magnified, like, we're actually there. But yeah, we were like, oh my god, let's do the Chat Pile photo real quick.
Yeah, it was like the exact
Oh,
angle and everything too. So like that's fucking crazy.
dude, yeah. I mean, yeah, we probably should have done it a little more. I mean, yeah,
No,
it
it
was
was
different, but
tight. It
not
was
enough.
tight.
The porta potties weren't there. Okay. Um, so yeah, this. I mean, I love Chat Pile. I think our whole band does. Fernando is a huge Chat Pile head. Although when we recorded this, I don't think he knew really about them too much. So it wasn't really. It was in my mind a little bit, and yeah, I think this is just the song that was the most kind of organic of the batch that we wrote. Like, this one in the studio, it just came together really just quickly,
So this is the
smoothly.
last song that y'all made then, that y'all wrote for this then.
I don't know if it was the last song that we
Okay.
wrote, it but when we wrote it, it just like it was just, it clicked so easily,
Well, because you're
so
mentioning
well.
like doing it in the studio or whatever, so it sounded like you were like writing it in the studio. Is that?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I meant like
When you were performing it in the
our
studio.
rehearsal
Gotcha.
studio, our
Oh,
rehearsal studio.
okay,
Yeah, because
okay. Gotcha.
you know
Makes more
we
sense
write
now.
in the studio, we bring ideas and stuff,
Right,
and
right. I thought you meant like when you were recording it, like you were like finished. But I got you.
I
That
mean,
makes
no, I
sense.
mean, no, that would recording with Colin Marston, that would freak me out was if I didn't know my shit.
Right, you were fucking around with it. Okay, I got you. I got you. Well, because I
Even
was
though he
gonna
probably
ask,
was.
like, is this the like next direction of Thin? Are we gonna see more like of the spoken word type of stuff? Like I said, I want more of it. I think it's great.
I don't, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think the ethos or whatever, the the kind of more you know, I think a little less is more simplistic, I think will be more the approach, but again, within the realm of what we're doing. It's not like, you know, it's not that simple or whatever, and it's still like fucking crazy, whatever. But like I think, yeah, uh having some I don't know if I want to call it repetition, but just maybe slowing down a little. But again, like
More
it's
like themes that you build around or whatever. I
yeah,
guess like
yeah,
musical
maybe.
themes. I mean,
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know. We
you want more
don't have like a
structure and stuff. I guess in the songs.
perhaps. Um, yeah, I don't know. We don't have a very concrete idea of what is next, but I think whatever feels right, and I think that direction kind of feels right. Like we have the crazy stuff like in our arsenal, and we can do it, but maybe we'll do it more.
Restrained.
Uh, yeah, yeah, exactly.
No, that makes sense. You're maturing. You've like finding your sound or whatever, and you've pushing into it or whatever. Like it makes perfect sense. Like
Cool,
nothing
yeah.
to be ashamed of or whatever. I don't know if you're trying to like make it seem like
I'm still grind. I'm
yeah,
still
you're
grindcore.
still grindcore. You still got the crazy riffs and
Oh,
shit.
look, I'm wearing
It's
my
just you're trying to. Oh, I
I'm
love that. That's
Global
fucking sick.
Grindcore Alliance. I played that show. I played it. Look, no. Yeah, no. Uh,
That's happening again, by the way, right? That festival. I thought I saw
they're
y'all were on it or something.
no,
Maybe I'm
not
getting
this
mixed
one,
with
but
something else. I saw you had
there
like a fest with like Chapong and shit like that. Or am I wrong?
that was yeah, that was we did that back in September, and that's a kind of related fest, and they're doing a Redux this next month. So you're right. It's a
Okay.
similar type of thing, but it's not us, not Japan, but
Oh, I thought
other
that y'all were on it.
sick.
Okay. Okay.
No, they were on it with us back in September. This is just like a bunch of other sick grind bands.
Okay.
Yeah, good
I'm
stuff.
sick. I'm glad it's
I'll do
still
my
going
best to be
on then
there.
at the very
Yeah,
least.
yeah. Chipang dudes really like facilitate a lot of cool stuff in our area. Good
Nice.
dudes.
Um. So yeah. I guess move on to future plans. You got like tours coming up or anything like that, or y'all laying low for the time being? What's going on with y'all?
Yeah. Well, we just got off this, a couple weeks ago, we got off a 16-day tour, which is our longest to date. Um, and that was awesome, man. I
Yeah. Yeah.
love the Wind
Tell
in the
me about it.
Trees
How did it
dudes.
go?
Oh, it was great. It's all about the people. I mean, it's mostly the people, like shows can be whatever, but like as long as you're traveling with good people. But the shows were good. We did 16 days, started in Richmond, went through like the Mid South and up to the Midwest and then back. Met up with Wanderer in the Midwest. That band,
Those guys are sick.
excellent. One of my favorite bands. That was another band like the Wind in the Trees. Like I really wanted to manifest something with them, and it happened. And Wanderer was another one too. So I'm really stoked on my track record but yeah. So really cool linking up with them. Excellent band. I cannot recommend them enough. Um, yeah, and so for the future, I don't know. We're going to figure it out. I would love to play the West Coast. Um, going to see how we can make that happen. Um, you know, uh, DIY touring is rough. I think we pretty much broke even, but you know, I don't know. We're gonna try to figure it out. So West Coast is hopefully the next trip, but I don't know when that actually will happen. and yeah, I mean, and then hopefully just get back in the shed, write some stuff.
Gotcha. So no more like plans to go around like the Northeast or anything like that. Like maybe
Nothing
like week long
concrete.
runs or anything like that. Okay,
Nothing concrete at the moment. Yeah.
that's cool. Okay. Um, but yeah. So you played a decent amount of shows. Since you went on here last time, what's the best show that you've played?
Um, since the last time I was on here, well, that is so we heavy Lolo took us on tour this past summer.
That's right. That's
Took
fucking
us for 5 days.
crazy. What the
Yeah, I mean
fuck?
that. Yeah, that's just like the crazy. Yeah, Robbie Smith cannot shout that dude out enough. He's just like the man. Like, God damn it, Robbie Smith. And also just like for being who he is and still like paying attention to music so much. Like he listens. And that's how he bought our tape like Dawn or something, and then like I put two and two together, and then I hit up 12 gauge, et cetera, et cetera. So we did 5 dates with them. They did 5 dates on the West Coast, and then did 5 dates on the East Coast, and we were part of that East Coast run. And we played a home quote unquote hometown show at the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn, and it's like sold out off the
Nice.
fucking. It was just absolutely fucking crazy. Like and people showed up for all the bands. We played in front of a packed house pretty much, and that doesn't happen for us often, especially like with that kind of energy and stuff. And yeah, I mean, heavy Lolo just blew the fucking roof off the place. It's just absolutely crazy. Yeah, so that's and also I back like there was like I don't know, there was like a green room back there, and we were like dicking around. Robbie, uh, he had some like mushroom, like psilocybin chocolate, and the shit was like potent, like real potent. Like he had told a story about apparently the heavy load drummer a few days prior, when they're still back on the West Coast or something. Like I think the drummer doesn't partake a lot or whatever. Didn't realize, ate like 6 squares, and it was just like, so it's like super. Anyway, whatever. And so I'm like, oh, dude, I want some of that, and so ate a little bit, and so that whole night was just like, I don't know. What I'm trying to say is I've never had psilocybin chocolate that potent before. I had 1 square, and I was just like wired the entire night. The whole night was just like a. And I remember just like falling asleep in our practice space with Robbie and our band, like because we went back to our practice space afterward. Just like, I don't know, it was fucking wild. So yeah, absolute hands down best show.
That's sick.
And yeah, and then worst show. The hell would the worst show be? Um, you know, I don't know what the worst show would be. It probably has to be.
Oh, you
We've been
just did
really,
what 14 days? You're saying like this got
yeah,
to be
yeah.
one that
So
was shit.
exactly, yeah. So I was gonna say we've been really fortunate, but yeah, the tour we did, we played like none of them were like so bad, but I want to say Little Rock, Arkansas. We played at Vino's, which is a cool venue. It's like a pizza place, good
I
pizza
saw
too.
pictures of y'all from it. Yeah, it looks sick.
Yeah, I just the way that one was run was kind of like I don't totally understand like making touring bands like play last, like that thing, like
Oh, they did that.
maybe.
That sucks.
Oh yeah, I mean like and that was kind of a thing. Like a lot of places we went, we had to be like, yo, can we do a tour sandwich? Can like can we not play last?
Really? What? That's ridiculous, dude.
Yeah,
What
we
the
had to do
fuck?
that. I know it was kind of confusing to
I've
me,
only
but
dealt with I think one booker in like all like the tours that I've done or whatever where he was like adamant that I needed to headline and I'm like, dude, I'm not fucking headlining. That's insane. And I eventually got it changed or whatever. But everybody else
yeah.
has like it's just like known that that's what you do. Is you do the tour sandwich.
It blows my mind. It happened multiple times. But Little Rock was the where it was kind of the most annoying, and
Yeah.
the show was whatever. Some kids came out or whatever, but like of course they all left by the time we played because they put us on the tour package as a headliner, and on top of that, like the one of the bands that played was like they were fine or whatever, but they took another one of my pet peeves is just taking too long to set up. I get, things take time, technical difficulties, but it wasn't anything like that. It was just like complete dilly dallying. And like you could tell because like the guitar player was one of those people who just like set up, he was set up in like a minute and he was just standing there. And these other fucking people were just like dicking around. And at a certain point, it was like 40 minutes had, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes had kind of elapsed. And I'm looking at the clock. And then Fernando was like, I think because like it was maybe 8:40 or something. And I'm like, what's going on? And Fernando's like, dude, they're not going to go on until 9. I guarantee you. I'm like, wait, what? You think so? No, no fucking way. And again, like they were pretty much set up and just, no, just milking for what I don't know. And so, yeah, so it was one of these things where it took forever. They purposefully waited until a set time for no real reason. And then by the time the local bands stopped playing, like their friends left. And so we played kind of to
Right.
nobody.
And
And
it's like it was a
it's like,
weeknight too, right?
yeah, it was a weeknight.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's dumb.
And it's like again, I've played a nobody before, and I'm sure it won't be the last time, and that's fine. But like when it's like engineered that way, and you can see it unfold before your eyes, you're just like, God fucking damn it! Like, come on, man.
Right.
It's just like bums you out a
Like
little
if
bit.
they wanted to play later so that their friends could see them, which is probably what it was, then they should have played last, right? That would have solved everything, right? That's
Yeah, it's just
crazy.
it. I don't. Yeah, I just kind of don't get that. Like, yeah, you don't make the touring bands play last, and unless it's like I don't know, a fucking big touring band, then it's a
Right,
different
right.
story.
Yeah, exactly, right. But this is like your first time out in like Arkansas or
Yeah, these are
whatever.
DIY shows. Like
Yeah.
fucking A. What the fuck, man?
That's
Some people
funny.
just yeah, whatever.
But the rest of the shows are great.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there was a varying quality, but I don't think anywhere like even that show. Like I don't know. Live music is my favorite thing in the world. So even despite those elements, I was like, whatever, man. I'm having fun. I get to
Hell
do my
yeah.
thing. I get to hear my I get to see Wind in the Trees play every night. My God. Speaking of another thing I was thinking of, the Wind in the Trees. This other beer is making me think. Their they their drummer Matt, who they hadn't really toured with him before. That dude, to watch him play drums every night, holy
Dude, he's
shit!
fucking ridiculous. What the fuck?
It
I saw when y'all guys came into the Denton or whatever, and what the fuck, dude? That's nuts. That
it
guy's crazy.
and also to have seen and to have heard the material and to have seen their old drummer and to see what Matt has done with this stuff is just like it's like night and day.
Mm.
But he still keeps it. I don't know. He's like super technical but tasteful and like it's just crazy. It's just crazy to see somebody that good 16 nights in a row.
Yeah,
It's just like it never got old. Not even close.
that's nuts. That's
So yeah.
crazy. Uh, but yeah, you guys got shirts, long sleeves, cassettes over at thinshred.bandcamp.com. You also got even more shirts, hoodies, and you got vinyl available over at deathwishinc.com. Did you have anything with you? I think you said you were able to get a vinyl.
Got an
Oh,
LP. I got a let's see what variant this is. I'm not sure exactly. This is Dusk. It's on reverse board. I'm sure the resolution on the camera is kind of shit, but it came out pretty
oh,
good.
so it's not like the normal sleeve. It's a
Yeah, it's like instead of the glossy side, it's the not glossy side because
gotcha.
that's I think
Okay.
because the art printed better on it.
No,
And
that's sick. I like that.
this is the black and splatter.
Sheesh. Oh
Um,
my god, it's like a sunset. What the fuck? That's crazy.
bro, see,
Or a
yeah,
sunrise, or I guess you're dusk. So yeah, sunset. That's fucking
sunset.
crazy. I love that variant. That's tight. Huh.
Yeah, we Jihad at 12 gauge was very he was like he had a good mind about what colors and stuff and based on the art and he helped out a lot with that too. So can't say enough good things about that dude. Yeah,
But yeah, you guys can pick that up over at deathwishinc.com. I guess we'll close this out with your album of the year for last year, or if something's got to try this year, go for that.
man. Man, album of the year last year was hard. It was like I had like three that I really liked. I mean, I think God's Country just has to be. I mean, that just blew me away. But I also obviously I love A Wind and Trees. Their Architects of Light album was fantastic. Like, listen to that album, everybody. Like, if you have not, front to back, just great, just really good. And also Cloud Rat, Threshold, love that band
Oh
too.
yeah, no, the other one's good as well.
Um,
Yeah.
God, this year I'm honestly drawing a freaking blank on stuff that's come out.
No, yeah, that's why I was saying, so, uh,
Uh, I know
last year
already
was
like a
something caught your
bunch
eye.
of good stuff has come out. I mean, like that for that Full of Hell Primitive Man split is like one of the bleakest things I've ever heard in my life. My God, not a split collab, whatever. Yeah, I have to get back to you on that. Have to think about it. But yeah.
Alrighty.
Mhm.
Anything else you want to say before we head out to the outro?
Um, no, man. Thank you for having me, man. This is cool. Everybody stay blessed and keep grinding, keep playing blast beats, keep smoking weed, doing whatever you do.
Hell, hell yeah. So if you like experimental, noisy grindcore, you got to check out Dusk, the new album from Thin, which dropped back in February through 12 Gauge Records. Y'all are on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Bandcamp, all the cool places. I think you're also on Twitter. Any other links I'm missing? We got deathwishinc.com. Um,
Yeah,
is
I
that
think you
about
got
it?
him. You got him, brother.
As for me, drop my channel follow so you always know when I go live. You can also sub to get access to the interviews before they hit YouTube and other streaming platforms, as well as get some exclusive emotes. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube folks, if you enjoyed the video, please drop a like, tickle the notification bell. Don't forget to subscribe. It's a great way to support me for free. Check out my music, The Sound That Ends Creation, at thesoundthatenscreation.bandcamp.com. This Friday, I leave for a long-ass tour. Then a week or so after that, I'm going to leave for another long-ass tour. Then like another week, I'm gonna be going on another tour. Point is, this is gonna be on hold until like maybe mid-August. So this is gonna be the last one for a long time if it even starts in
Wow.
mid-August. So yeah,
Holy
just
shit.
keep paying attention to the Instagram page and stuff. I'm gonna try to do some streaming through the Sound That Ends Creations Instagram page maybe. So keep a look at that.
And this
Otherwise,
man's about to go
yeah.
on a tour everywhere. You probably will be able to catch him somewhere where you are.
Probably could. You can see dates on my Instagram right now for the Northeast. But yeah, thanks for being here, Ashley. Hope you had a good time.
I had a great time, man. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, and thank you guys for watching and listening.
Why take it